And we're back at the Readiness channel. Today we're going to do a heads-up comparison of two very popular dried egg powders that should be a strong consideration for anybody's emergency food storage plan, and that is the Augason Farms scrambled egg mix and the Ova Easy egg crystals. Both of these are an egg type powder, and it's very simple to rehydrate these with a little water and cook them up. Today we're going to find out how these two products compare with one another, so climb aboard. I'm sure many of you remember last year about this time or a little earlier when we started the cluster of 2020. Being somebody that believes in having an emergency plan in their home, we were fortunate that we didn't have to go out and get into the madness that was going on in the grocery stores and people out trying to get supplies and food to eat and other panic buying that was going on because of the situation everybody now found themselves in. What I like to refer to that time as is the dress rehearsal. Any situation that we go through like that is a valuable training scenario that we can learn from. One of the products, one of the items that people were in a frenzy to get that was just not available, and it's one of those things that you have to buy, you know, weekly or every few days depending on your family size, was eggs. I did have this can of scrambled egg mix that I've had since 2013, and I decided the other day that it's getting to that age where we should probably go ahead and eat it and use it up, and I thought, why not try this Ova Easy egg crystals product that seems to have a lot of popularities with campers, hikers, preppers, just people that want to have, you know, a backup of something like this in their home. And I've never tasted that product. This pouch right here is the equivalent of 12 eggs, we're told, by Ova Easy, which is quite a bit. The Augason Farms can, we'll see what it looks like here in a minute. Hopefully it's still good when we open it. You're going to follow along with me and we're going to see what we see when we open it up. I think they're a reputable company and I've had good luck with their products, so we'll find out together what happens there. All right, here we go. First we're going to open up the Augason Farms scrambled egg mix and see what we find out. You may or may not have been able to hear that, but we had a nice little suction sound of air going into the can. Having a little trouble with our can opener here. All right, and this is what we're dealing with here. It's a dried egg powder. It has some clumps in it, which I think is what makes it a scrambled egg mix versus, you know, some of the dried egg powders that are out there. Let's mix some of this up and see what we come up with. They're telling us to add 2 tablespoons of dry mix to 3 tablespoons of warm water and mix. So we'll start out with that. Actually, I think I'll do double the recipe, so we'll do 4 tablespoons of mix. Powder looks fine. I don't see anything odd about it that should be concerning. So we double that, and so we need 6 tablespoons of water now. Let's start with that and we'll see what we come up with here. Okay, here we go. First up will be the Augason Farms scrambled egg mix. And while I don't normally cook my scrambled eggs what I consider to be overdone, I think with a product like this you're going to have to cook some of the water out of it to a certain point, so it might be, you might have to cook them a little longer than you normally would. Okay, and there's the Augason Farms scrambled egg mix. You know, I brought along some salt and pepper, but I think I'm going to leave it off just so that we're doing a baseline comparison of these two products without any outside influence. Let's cook up the Ova Easy. This product here is telling us that we need to put 4 tablespoons. It looks like the same ratio. It'll be 4 tablespoons of powder to 6 tablespoons of water. So that was exactly what we did with the Augason Farms. Right away I can tell this is a little bit more, they call it egg crystals, and it is a little bit more powdery with a glistening component in it. I don't know exactly what it is. The Ova Easy ingredients is just whole eggs, egg yolks, and dried egg white. Okay, now let's whisk up the Ova Easy and see what we come up with here. Both of these products look and smell almost identical at this stage. All right, in goes the Ova Easy. Looks like you could make a nice omelet with this product. It seems to bind together a little bit more than the scrambled egg mix did. Okay, let's get these guys plated up. And here's our side-by-side comparison of these two products. This is the Augason Farms, this is the Ova Easy. I have to admit that right off the bat here, I can look at these two and honestly say that the Ova Easy does look more like a normal fresh scrambled egg would to me. All right, so now let's give these a taste test. First, we'll start out with the Augason Farms. It has a little bit more of a orangey look to it than the Ova Easy eggs do. I don't know if that'll come through on the camera with the sunlight that we have here today, but let's give these a taste test and see how they match up there. Taste is not bad. The flavor tastes like a scrambled egg. The texture is obviously going to be a little different than a fresh scrambled egg, so that's just something you have to reconcile with yourself if you're going to use a product like this, but there's certainly nothing wrong with that. I could eat that without any objection at all. The flavor is fine. It maybe if I cooked it a little bit longer in the oil and maybe gave it a slightly firmer texture, it would improve it some. Now let's try the Ova Easy. If you were to put the Ova Easy eggs in front of me and not tell me what they were, I would absolutely have no way of knowing that they weren't a fresh scrambled egg. They're that good. So for my taste and in my opinion, the hands down winner here would be the Ova Easy. I'm certainly would not be afraid of purchasing the Augason Farms product. It's very good also. I like the number 10 can that it comes in, although I'm told the Ova Easy is also able to be purchased that way too. I haven't seen it, but I haven't specifically looked for it online. So both of these products are very good. I would not turn my nose up to either one, but for the sake of our shootout today, I do have to give the win to the Ova Easy. Okay, the Augason Farms scrambled egg mix. The ingredients are whole eggs, non-fat dry milk, corn oil or soybean oil, it says, and then salt. They're calling a serving size 2 tablespoons. If you watched my video about freeze-dried foods, the good, the bad, and the ugly, I talked about that in there. You know, they're showing 92 servings on the can here. I'm going to call bovine excrement on some of those numbers on these things. However, I would probably easily double that serving size to be considered anything like a normal serving. So, according to their serving size, 2 tablespoons, they're showing 60 calories, 35 calories from fat. You know, total fat, saturated fat, all that stuff's pretty negligible. Cholesterol, 165 milligrams. Dietary fiber is 0, sugars are 0, but 4 grams of protein in a 2 tablespoon serving. And this gets back to why I'm spotlighting these kinds of products to be something that you think about to put into your emergency food storage if you haven't already. In comparison, the Ova Easy, they're showing a serving size to be 1/8 of a cup. So again, you know, that would be something you would likely have to adjust to fit your dietary needs if you were relying on this stuff to eat. In comparison, we've got 5 grams of fat, total fat versus 6. Saturated fat and all those things are always going to be, you know, a gram and a half on something like this. It appears they're very similar. Cholesterol is 185 versus 165. Again, I don't know exactly how 1/8 of a cup and 2 tablespoons equate. Just off the top of my head, I feel like they're very, very close, if not the same. Sodium is 70 milligrams, so this is a little bit lighter in salt. Carbohydrates and all that are pretty similar, and we show a protein of 5 grams for that same advertised serving that they're showing here. In conclusion, I think both of these products are excellent choices for a emergency prepper pantry, camping, hunting, all the different things that people use freeze-dried foods for. If you were a hiker and you bought a can like this, you could always repackage it seal it up into smaller portions, especially if you have a food saver or something like that. I don't see why a Ziploc bag wouldn't work unless you're in a extremely humid environment. Obviously, once you open the cans on these, even though you have this plastic snap lid that goes on there, the big enemy now in this isn't that the food's going to spoil real quick. It's still a dried product. What happens now is it immediately starts absorbing moisture just out of the atmosphere, and so that's why when you open one of these up, you've started the clock ticking. I want to thank my production staff today that has been very diligent in keeping us safe. This one over here is, there he goes. He doesn't want to get too close. And this one over here, on the other hand, is old Cool Kitty. This is the honey badger of wild feral cats. He was meaner than hell to start, but he's decided that a little bit of scrambled eggs, and this is a pretty good place to hang out now. Hey, thanks for watching today's video. Remember to hit the like and subscribe button down below if you appreciate the content that we put out for you in today's video. Those things help us out with the channel. And as always, remember, get ready so that you and your family can succeed and thrive.